All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Let me know how it sounds. Already with the 5 by 5s and I wasn't even on yet. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh, boy. Gary the Bull, Flown Grown, Joe, thank you for the 5 by 5. Noah Juan, thank you for the 5 by 5. Balls Busted, thank you for that, Dobie. Susie, thank you for the 5 by 5. Loretta, thank you for the 5 by 5. Bush Big, WTC, Chair, Carolina, Crow, Rated Forever, Kathleen, Maria, Henry, Lisa, Brendan Grace, thank you for the 5 by 5. Annette, Drone Professional, nice one, thank you for the 5 by 5. John, Little Lone Prepper, Ron, Carabine, John, Leon, Green Grass Grows, The Unknown, thank you for the 5 by 5. Raccoon Eyes, Elaine, Bad Botter, Beef and Chicken, thank you for the 5 by 5. William, thank you for the loud and clear. John, Graft Branch Homestead, thank you for the 5 by 5. Adam, Ron, 1 second after. South Florida, James, thank you for the 5 by 5. And Keepwell, I'm pretty sure I fuck that up every time I say it. Dan Phillips, watching you. Dwayne, thank you for the 5 by 5. And Eric. All right, guys. So, well, we were talking about Fauci screwing everything up, and as per usual, that was his MO, was to make everything worse than it had to be. But interestingly enough, the truths are starting to get leaked out, and I thought, guys, a lot of the truth was going to be leaked out like years later. When I mean years later, I'm talking like 20, 30 years later. But a lot of it's starting to come out now. There are actually politicians right now who are pissed about the things that they're seeing with what's going on, with how things were executed during the Mr. 19 event. Okay, let's see. So yeah, with the Mr. 19 event, all these things are starting to come out, right? So like the first lie that Mr. Fauci told was the 6 feet rule, stand 6 feet apart. He goes that came out of thin air. We just made that up. So you told the nation to stand a certain feet apart from each other with no science behind it. Meanwhile, I got into arguments with people about this science. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And they're like, well, he's a doctor and you're not. And I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, they're right. They're right. He's a doctor, I'm not. And I didn't think anything of it. But now, he admits to it. And I'm thinking, well, shit, can I go to medical school now? Because there were things he said that just didn't make sense. And as an EMT, with the whole face mask thing, I'm like, yo, that can't stop what you think it stops. And I got in an argument with guys at work over this shit, and I'm like, yo, we went through the same training. They told us that a face mask wasn't going to work against X, Y, and Z. Why are we wearing it like idiots? And I refused to wear it at one point, and I'm like, we look like a moron. That's like wearing a condom for no fucking reason, because you might impregnate a chick. I'm like, you go on a date, I'm going to wear a condom. Just in case we might have sex. What is that? Like, you just look stupid walking around with a mask. Now, granted, if you're wearing it because you don't want pollution or some shit like that, fine. But to wear it because you're scared you might catch something, you look like an idiot. And there's so many idiots still walking around wearing it. And that's the thing, guys. We look stupid. And don't get me wrong, I wore it in the beginning. I thought, oh, okay, he knows better. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Like in N95, I was rocking that. But I wasn't going to rock a paper mask, a face cover. I wasn't going to rock that. Stupid. And then I went into a couple places because I didn't feel like getting into an argument or fight. I put a bandana over my face. And I remember saying to the lady, I'm like, she yells at me. I'm like, you think that this is stopping something? I said, are you stupid or are you special? Because you got to be special and or stupid or both to think this is stopping anything. She's like, well, put it on your face anyway. I'm like, how about fucking no? I'm walking out of the store anyway. You're going to get people sick. Who? Who am I going to get sick? You fucking idiots took the arm ticket. No one's going to get sick. Right? Well, You don't come back to my store. I'm like, I hope it burns to the fucking ground. Needless to say, it didn't burn to the ground. But still, I get into this argument with people over this shit. And now, they come to find out it didn't work. And all of these studies that came out about it, that's saying that it did, and it didn't. So that means, guys, that all of the studies that came out prior to the studies that are out now were all lies. They were all bought and paid for, and that has been proven. The 6 feet apart was a lie. They said there were studies that proved that it worked. Meanwhile, none of those studies were correct. They were all lies. Every study during Mr. 19 event was a lie. So, this is from the New York Post. I forgot to save the link. I apologize. We know now the likely truth about Mr. 19 and how scientists lied. Mr. 19, which killed 1.1 million Americans, which I think that's a lie too, and destroyed the lives and livelihood of millions more, is in fact a man-made event that escaped from a Chinese facility partly funded by the U.S. government. Now, the U.S. government funding part, I'm still on the fence about, but I'm going to go with it for now because it's China, and China hates us. But do they really hate us, or is it just a ploy? Godzilla, I mean, listen, I fell for the... I'm not going to sit here and act like I didn't fall for the bullshit. I fell for the bullshit in the beginning. I was wiping the rigs down. I had fucking concoctions made. I was all about it. And then, it was like a light switch. I was in the firehouse. I'm sitting back. We're waiting for a run to come in. I'm sitting back, and I'm like, all of these guys are sick and getting sick, and I'm not getting sick. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is the disease for the weak. So I stopped wiping shit down. I'm like, fuck it. If we get sick, we're not going to die. That's the best case scenario, right? Worst case scenario is you get sick. Best case scenario is that you catch it and you don't. It doesn't show up on you. You're not symptomatic. Best case, right? So now we were all lied, guys. The entire event was a lie. The entire event was a lie. And all of the truth is coming out now. And we should be up in arms over it, but we're not. Dan Phillips, yeah, I know. They test a lot of they funded a lot of it. But I know that they have gain of functions in other countries. It was just the fact that it was in China is why I was having a hard time believing it. But still, I guess private Chinese deals are different than, like government. I don't know, whatever. But nonetheless, we're going to go with that. So, even today, you're not supposed to say that even though it is the only plausible scenario. Because till this day, guys, they're still trying to find out where it came from. They're trying to find patient X and where it originated from. There's only one explanation. It started in their country. It was ripping through that town, the neighboring town that the lab was near. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out, yet they lie to us, and then the Chinese president go, it didn't come from here, and people believed it. The Chinese shows, the government. And then the government lied to us. We got to hide that fact that it came from there. So we're going to make some shit up. Anyway, lie number 1. Mr. 19 is naturally occurring. The Chinese tried to deflect blame immediately by saying that the virus supposedly began in a wet market of animals in a neighboring town. Mr. Fauci repeatedly argued it evolved in nature and then jumped to species back in 2020. The NIH officially finally admitted taxpayer funded the GOF research in China. After years of denial, we now know the statement was drafted by Peter Daszak, president of EcoHealth Alliance, the company working on the research in the lab in China. He was just trying to cover his own complicity. Sorry. All signs pointed to that place in China. The only reason we can't say it conclusively is because China has been allowed to destroy all evidence. Lie number 2. The U.S. didn't fund gain-of-function research. Scientists sometimes experiment with viruses, making them easier to catch or more deadlier as way to determine what might happen or what arm ticket may be needed. But in May of 2021, Mr. Little Weasel stated unequivocally that the U.S. has not ever and does not now fund GOF research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. On Thursday, though, NIH Deputy Director Lawrence Tabak directly contradicted that U.S. taxpayer did fund EcoHealth, which works closely with the lab in China. Tabak's new excuse now is GOF doesn't mean what we've always been told it means. It's perfectly safe. Now all of a sudden it's safe. Motherfuckers. Anyway. On cue, the National Institute of Health, NIH, has changed the definition of the term gain of function on its website to make it sound benign. Again, except it isn't benign. EcoHealth is specifically working in China because such work are not allowed in the United States. What researchers were doing with Mr. 19 was very dangerous. Now, I said this before, guys. We have a lot of GOFs, research labs, all over the country, all over the world. Sorry, not in the country. There might be a black lab or two in the country, but for the most part, a lot of it's not allowed here, and it's done in places like Africa, India, really poor shit countries, and even some countries that want to do this kind of research, like in Germany, they have a gain-of-function lab out there. Anyway, a lot of this stuff, guys, has been known. It's not a secret. But the United States lying about it makes you look like an asshole. But the Chinese lied about it from the beginning. From the beginning, even before the finger pointing started, China lied about it. Said that it was in a marketplace. Get the fuck out of here. I was following the outbreak back in November of 2019. 2019, I was following the outbreak of this shit. Back in November, and I remember looking at it and go, oh, this is going to be a big to-do. Then December came around, I'm like, it's going to make its way here. And what happened? Boom! Fucking, sure enough, right over here it hit. And people were panicking and crying and carrying on like schoolgirl bitches. They were carrying on like baby back bitches. Nonetheless, guys, it became a worldwide issue, shut down the world, and people lost their jobs, livelihoods, friendships, family members over this bullshit. Mr. John Johnson, yeah, fall of 2019. It actually started in November. Some people say that it started earlier than that, maybe October, but I noticed it in November. Sorry, let me walk that back. I noticed it in November when they started reporting it. Yes, so Lyme disease started in the lab, but that was on an island off the coast of the United States, not in the United States. They were using technicality for that one. And then look what happened with Lyme disease, right? It's fucking all over the place. Matter of fact, there's a new tick that made its way here. There's two new bugs, actually, that made its way here. There's a spider, which is like fucking like this big. Bigger than a tarantula. that we're supposed to start seeing in the East Coast. I'm going to tell you right now, I see this fucking spider, I'm killing it with fire. All right? And if I have to burn down an entire fucking home to do so, guess what? In the forest, all of it's going to go. I'm like, and they're like, it's really invasive and it's really big. Yo, I'm going to go fucking bananas. Baseball bat in hand and a fucking flamethrower. We're going fucking crazy if I see this thing. Fucking, I'm releasing everything. The hounds of hell, all of it's being released. Because I'm not dealing with that shit. I fucking do not like spiders. But anyway, with that was their second lie. The third lie, and I spoke about it earlier, the 6 feet apart would stop the spread. Matter of fact, the 6 feet apart and the plexiglass at the restaurants. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, you went to a restaurant and had a plexiglass in the way, like in between you and the next booth. Like the virus is like, oh, I can't get around the plexiglass. I guess I'll just stay here. Hey, I mean, like, yo, seriously? And the 6 feet apart, like the cough was going to stop at 5 feet and what, 12 inches or 11 inches, right? It was just going to stop. I was going to cough it out and it was just going to, and then drop off. And people believe that. I remember standing online and we were 6 feet apart. And I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. We are so stupid. We, the people of the world, are the dumbest. If aliens are real and they're watching us, they were fucking laughing during that whole thing. Because they're like, why are these idiots standing so far apart? What the fuck, man? We are the dumbest people on the fucking planet. Oh, let me put this plexiglass up in front of the cashier at Walmart. It'll protect her. Put her stupid paper mask. We are and always will be stupid. Simple. I've never seen a totality of stupidity in my life other than that. Like, 5 feet 11 inches. Yeah, like, it just stopped. It would stop right there. The plexiglass, it couldn't figure out how to go around it. Forget about the supermarket excuse. Oh, well, it can't go over the shelves. What? There's a fucking draft in a supermarket like you wouldn't believe. Holy shit, man. I mean, and we believed it. I mean, I got into arguments over this shit. Arguments over this. Like, yo, it doesn't work that way. There's no way that it just stops. It's not going to stop. This one's undoubtedly going to get a strike, without a doubt. Strike City on this one. I'll see you guys in a week. If they don't do it, if they don't give me 2 weeks. See you guys in 2 weeks if they give me one on this channel. But, yo, it was just, a lot of it just didn't, it was stupidity. People were like, oh, man, you know, if we stand 6 feet apart, and I remember people getting into, I saw videos of people getting into arguments over this. Like, people were like, yo, you better stand over there. Do not stand here. I don't want to get sick. And I'm like, wait, what? You think that oh, my God, 2 people in the store at a time. Because why? It can't circulate in the store? It was stupid. You should have seen it. And then the lady, the guy that yelled at me at the Apple store, I had a mask on, and I'm like, and that was like the one time I had to wear a mask because I had to get something from my computer. Not the one time, I wore it a couple times, but after that I stopped wearing it. After that interaction, I was out on wearing a mask. I went to every supermarket with no mask on. I remember one guy was like, yo, you gotta wear it. I'm like, why? Because we're the fire department. People are looking at us. I don't give a fucking rat's ass. After that Apple incident, I stopped wearing it. And that guy yelled at me because I went from, I mean, you guys can see the apartment. So if I'm standing here and I'm talking to the guy, we're fucking, you know, carrying on with the conversation. Oh, the lady, sorry. Talking to the lady about getting a couple items. And I ordered it ahead of time so I could just be in and out, not deal with that bullshit. So I'm standing here. The lady finishes dealing with me. I turn around, and right here is the couch, and that's where the Apple Watch is when I was looking at an Apple Watch. And I'm standing there looking at the Apple Watch going, I didn't even touch anything. I'm looking at it. And the guy from across the store, the gay dude, he's like, excuse me, sir. And his hands flailing around like gay people do. He's like, oh, sir, sir. And I'm like, who the fuck are you yelling at? He's like, you can't be over there. I'm like, I said, I'm fucking like 5 feet away, if that. And he's like, you're not allowed to do that. I'm like, you have no fucking rules saying I can't do that, you fucking moron. Are you fucking stupid and retarded? And he's like, and the security guard who was there, he just turned his back and walked the other direction. I was like, I said, first of all, you yell at me like that again, I'm going to punch you in your fucking mask. That's one. 2, you yell at me like that again, I'm going to punch you in your fucking vagina. And he was like, he didn't know what to say. I'm like, it's 5 feet away. You got nothing written down saying I can't turn around and look at fucking products. What kind of store suggests I can't look at products that you're trying to fucking sell, you fucking idiot? And I almost called him out of his face. Like, I almost started dropping the fag bomb. I was so pissed. I was like, yo, I said, take your fucking AIDS-ridden ass and get the fuck away from me. And he didn't know what to say. He was just like, and he was like, and then he walked the other side. Then the lady comes back and she goes, what happened? I'm like, this fucking asshole's yelling at me for looking at the watches. She goes, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. I said, moron, where does it say I can't do that? And she looks around and she's like, she just starts packing everything without saying everything to get me the fuck out of there. And that was it. That was the last time I wore a mask. I'm like, this fucking guy's gonna yell at me for fucking looking at a mask, looking at a watch, Apple Watch that I was interested in getting, that I got anyway. But I didn't get it there. I got it at another store. I stopped wearing a mask. And when I got into any store that wanted me to wear the mask, when I got past the threshold, it came off just to fucking antagonize them. I did it on purpose. I was like, fuck these people and their bullshit, because there is no science behind it. In fact, that's what the politician was talking about. I got the video. I think I got to find the video again. I just watched it. He said he was looking for the proof on if the shot helped or the arm ticket helped at all with the pandemic, and it didn't. There is not one study, not one finding that says the arm ticket helped ever. Not one. And he was looking for the research and he couldn't find it. And he kept asking for the research and they kept giving him a song and dance. He was starting to get annoyed by the end of it. And I'm like, yo, I haven't seen one research on it. Now, all of these people took an arm ticket they didn't need for something that burned through the week. After the week were done, people started living. People were okay. People are catching it now and they're fine. It burned through those that it burned through. That was it. Now, you got, people still wearing a fucking thing over their face and talking. I'm like, I want to make a shirt. I'm like, yo, the war's over. Take your mask off. You look stupid, or something. At this point, I just want to antagonize people. That's all. It was just stupid, man. I never. It was the dumbest thing to go through. And the crazy shit, guys, is that the next event that happens, it's going to be real, and I think it's going to be a lot worse, and I'm still not going to fucking wear a mask and fuck these people and their fucking bullshit. Now, an N95 I might wear if I have to. If I'm still working and shit's on the level, and I'm watching people drop like fries in front of me, yeah, then maybe. But I'm not taking an arm ticket. That shit's that's out for sure. I'm definitely not standing 6 feet apart, because that is not how that next event's going to work. It isn't going to work that way. Strippers had to wear masks? I guess not. I don't know. Comet Moon said, be right back, refreshing. Yeah, but anyway, guys, it was a shit show, and we were lied to every step of the way. Every step of the way we were lied to. It was horrendous. It was horrendous, the amount of lying that was going on. And we and including myself, we believed it all. Right? We sat there and we got into arguments with people. Some of us lost friendships over this shit. Dropping like fries. Probably a better analogy. But meanwhile, the arm ticket is starting to be something way more dangerous. And I said, you know what? Interesting, right? We didn't take it, and now we win. We win twice. And it's funny. I don't like to brag. I don't brag about it, actually. I poke fun at it, but I don't brag about it. I do poke fun at people. I'm like, hey, when you get a blood clot, can I have your truck? Or when you get a blood clot, can I have your locker? Because you have a really nice locker in a nice spot in the gym. But other than that, man. I poke fun at it, but I don't brag about it. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm standing strong. I'm not wishing bad on any of these people. I'm not even doing the I told you so. Because there's a lot of guys now that are really concerned about this. They are super concerned. At least at work. There are a lot of super concerned guys. They're like, fuck, man, what are we going to... I'm like, yo, tackle it one thing at a time. Tackle one fucking ailment at a time. Don't start flipping out about it and get yourself sick by worrying about it. Don't do that, Wanda says, yes, I lost my friends. I mean, I didn't lose any friends over this. I didn't lose any friends over this, actually. I didn't lose any family members over this either. You know, I think we were all grounded and around the same level. When you have a blood clot, can I have your wife? Yeah, well, I said that once. That didn't go over too well. Thank you, Prep Revelator. Rick, thank you for that. But yeah, guys, the damage is done, Paul. The damage is done. But if they roll the arm ticket out for the H5N1, yo, we don't even know what's in that one. They state that they're going old school with that one, so a lot of people are going to be a little more trusting of that one. I don't know. It's not even that it's old school. It hasn't been tested long enough for me. You test something, guys, for over 15, 20 years, I'm in. Do your research on pine needle tea. Rick Mavic, I heard about the pine needle tea. I will do my research on it, thank you. But I did hear a couple people mention that one. Something about reversing some of the damage, but not all of it. Because here's the problem, guys. Once the arm ticket is in the body, the coded DNA cannot be destroyed, cannot be removed. It's coded, it binds with the DNA in your body. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the bigger problem. And a lot of people are like, well, you could do this, you could do that. You can't reverse that. You just can't. There's no way of reversing it. Once they mesh together, you're done. You're toast. Well, find the right passion. It's going to be FDA approved. That's why the FDA was pushing that article a week ago, sorry. They were pushing the article. Right? They pushed the article because they're like, we're going to pass this come hell or high water. It doesn't matter what comes out, guys. They're passing it. Right? I mean, there's shit out there that should not be passed, and they're passing it anyway. And then 10 years down the line, they're like, we'll just pay out the family members of those who survived. You know? That's how they work it. That is their way of getting shit done now. They're just like, if people get sick, fuck it. We'll compensate them, is what they're going to say. We'll compensate them if they get sick, and we'll give them $5,000. And some cheap moron out there, or not cheap, but moron out there, will be like, yo, okay, we'll take the $5,000 and run. I want more than that. The next one's definitely going to be forced by the job. I'll be out of a job again. I'll be out of a job yet again. We're not going down the fucking that road again. Yeah, listen, it has to have longer than 10 to 15 years. It has to. If it has longer than that, and they have actual research behind it, not like word of mouth and fucking, what is that, AI art? I'm out on that shit. Or AI video, I'm out. Give me the real fucking science behind it. Because the problem was, guys, with the arm ticket, they had the science behind it, and then the science kept changing week to week. The efficacy dropped dramatically over the year. A year. So again, man, it's definitely, it was definitely all a lie and all a scam. But yeah, I'm not taking whatever's next. And if I have to resign again or retire again, so be it. Out the door I go. Because there's no way. And that's the thing too, guys. I mean, how many times you gonna cry wolf? How many times you gonna fucking make this bullshit, this bullshit promise that, it's going to work, it's safe. We don't fucking know that. We're taking your word for it, and the problem is their word is shit now, man. It's shit. That's the problem. They lied so many times that their word means nothing to us. Like a lot of us, guys, we're like, fuck this. We're done. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go off the air now. I'm going to get ready for tomorrow morning. I got to get up early, do a live stream at 7, go to work by 8:30. So we shall see. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. And I will see you guys later. Tomorrow morning.